Good evening, and welcome to another episode of Economics Theater. Tonight, we shall spin a tale of how the media controls our ever-wincing destiny. How they plant one little seed and let it grow and grow and grow until it is all consuming of our thoughts, so that the very suggestion they make is what we shall follow. So stay tuned and see what happens. Alright, so we're going to be talking about the business of media today. The business of media. For example, and I'm going to get to this page for a minute, but let me play this for you for 1 second. I guarantee a large percent of you know what I played for 5 seconds there. Actually, excuse me, 7 seconds. Played for 7 seconds there. That 7 seconds, most of you know what that is. And that was the 20th Century Fox opening. We've heard it thousands of times on hundreds and hundreds of movies. Uh, you can look at most of this on this page, and you can tell me what it's from. You know, if you look over here, yeah, the Coca-Cola Polar Bears, M&M's, Priceline, uh, the insurance commercial, Allstate. I think it's Allstate that does them. But you see this guy, and you automatically know, man, that's those insurance commercials. You know, Harry Potter, Walking Dead, Star Wars. You know, so man, the media gets in our head so much that you can just see a slight symbol of something, and bam, recognition of all the stuff they do. And when that happens, you know they're doing what they're trying to do successfully. Um, but in business, for example, with magazines, newspapers, uh, TV channels, uh, they can make money in two types of ways, or two ways. They can sell subscriptions or issues. Okay, you can subscribe to HBO, or you could subscribe to Entertainment Weekly, or USA Today. Okay, and they make some money that way. But the majority, and I mean overwhelming majority, you see 90% of revenue here comes from advertisements. The purpose behind selling subscriptions is to increase their advertising money. Because the larger their subscriptions, the larger number their advertisement money, or the more they can charge for their advertisement. That's why whenever you go into a lot of stores, for example, Entertainment Weekly, when I used to run a retail store, we'd give away a ton of copies of Entertainment Week, or subscriptions to like Entertainment Weekly and a lot of other magazines. There was always a choice. And you'd get so many, months free. Well, they do that so they can bump up their subscriptions. And then whenever advertisers say, well, I want to advertise with you, so okay, well, these are how many subscriptions we got, so you're going to be reaching out to this many people. So we're going to charge you this much. The more people who are subscribing, or they know who are viewing it, that gives more exposure to whoever's advertising in it, so that allows them to charge more money. For example, uh, well, okay, here I'm talking about this, but they're not buying the pages; they're paying for the time or the audience. That's a good way to put it. Consumers are the true product of the media. They create shows or articles to attract audiences, and the higher ratings or the higher the audience, the more the ads are worth. And think of things that would have high costs. Um, right now we're a week and a half away from the Super Bowl. That is some of the that is probably the most expensive time slot to put a commercial. The hockey championship, the Grammys, the Oscars, the uh, Daytona 500, the World Series, even stuff nowadays like American Idol, the finale of American Idol, can charge a lot of money because they have millions and millions of people who are watching these shows. And so they charge millions of dollars for 30 seconds sometimes. That's why it's such a big deal with Super Bowl commercials now. It's always been, and that's why they put so much money trying to come up with this great Super Bowl commercial, because they know if they get a great Super Bowl commercial, tons of people are going to see their products. And people are going to remember it for years if it's a great Super Bowl commercial, because it gets put up and all the Super Bowl commercials get compared. So they're not just buying 30 seconds. They could be buying years worth of advertisement, and that's why they spend these millions upon millions of dollars for those 30 seconds. The big boys, media conglomerates. They're companies that own a large number of media sources in various forms. There's usually a centralization of ownership. A few large companies own most businesses within an industry. They might have it all, broken up, and you don't realize, well, so and so owns so and so, and they own so and so. Okay, it's what we know as, and we've talked about before, an oligopoly. Uh, some of the ones in media, AOL Time Warner, Viacom, Walt Disney. We're going to talk more specifically about two of those here in a minute. Um, Only the internet stands out as not being controlled by the conglomerates. It's what the people say. And think a large part of the internet is starting to be controlled by these conglomerates and by people. Their advertisement and stuff is starting to really take over with some of this, and the web pages and so forth. But there's still places for everyday people to get out and get their opinions and thoughts out. Bloggers. That's one reason blogging is so big, or things like YouTube. Like right now, I'm teaching you through this, and I'm not controlled by any of these conglomerates. Sometimes they probably would wish I would shut up, along with a lot of other people. Hey, I heard that. Uh, Chat rooms. People can go and talk. Now, be careful of chat rooms, because you never know who you're really chatting to. And be careful of blogging, because they hire people to blog to promote their stuff, or they actually hire bloggers now. Bloggers can become so popular that they get hired by these companies and they are told to mention them. Okay, so it's again, the question is, how long can the internet stand as not being controlled by these conglomerations? And I said we're going to look specifically at two of those, and one of those is we're going to look at AOL Time Warner. Um, AOL Time Warner owns everything on this screen. And this isn't all. This is just some that I put on here, some of the stuff that's most recognizable. HBO, CNN, Cartoon Network, the Looney Tunes, New Line Cinema, TNT, TBS, DC Comics. You wonder why you keep seeing all the DC shows on the CW. Well, they're owned by the same parent company, and that's what this is sometimes referred to as a parent company. Warner Brother Studios, Flickster. So you ever wonder, look at Flickster next time and see if there's a slight edge to Warner Brother videos and New Line Cinema videos. They own Castle Rock Entertainment, which does movies as well. Entertainment Weekly. So also notice, I wonder sometimes for you to look, and I want you to stop and look if you ever look at Entertainment Weekly. Do they give edge to some of these stuff? Do they give a little extra reporting to a TNT show or TBS or HBO or some of the things that the parent company owns? And the matter of fact is, yes, it does happen, because they're in it to make business or make money. and control a lot of things. Okay, there's a whole lot more. When it gets to this level, it's not just about money always. It's about a lot of money, and it's about politics as well. So stuff from our last semester in government tie in with this, and you wind up with political and economical powerhouses uh, because they push their message out. And we'll talk more about that here with the next one. But Time Magazine, Sports Illustrated, Mad People, all of it's owned by the same person. Take the Walt Disney Company. Oh, I forgot that I had Walt Disney instead of one of the other ones. But if you look at like NBC and some of them who they're owned by, you see, wow, should I really trust the news produced by some of these people because of who's owns what? And so don't take companies and publishing's words for it. Always look behind the scene and see, who actually owns what. Um, Look at what Disney. We think of Disneyland, man, but think of all the stuff Disney owns. Disney Pictures, and they've branched out into a whole bunch of their own stuff. Disney Pictures, Disney Cruise Line, Disneyland, the Disney Channel, Disney Records. What? They own ABC. Uh, that's why. Notice this past year they bought out George Lucas and all his companies. Lucasfilm and so forth, and they team up with Marvel as well, and that's why they're talking about doing a Star Wars TV show on ABC. That's why Marvel does the Agents of Shield is on ABC because it is owned by Disney. Okay, it's owned by the same parent company. Did you realize Pixar is actually owned by Disney as well? Um, ESPN is owned by Disney. History, Lifetime, A&E. Uh, if you're ever watching A&E and you keep seeing these Lifetime commercials, it's on there because Disney owns it all. So always pay attention to where's the money coming from and where's the money going to when you look at this. Because sometimes there's a lot more behind the show, behind uh, the facade at the front. You see a lot of the stuff on the front, on the surface. Sometimes you need to delve deeper, especially when you get into your news organizations that you trust. Where's their money coming from? Who's supporting them? Uh, and all these news is people say, oh, well, I hear that from this news channel, this news channel, this news channel, and I love to tell them, you realize they're all owned by the same company. That's why they're all giving you the same story. So, don't be afraid to get out on the internet and try to find those independent sources so that you're not pinned to what these handful of people want you to know. So until next time, deuces.